Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today, instead of playing a league, we're just playing a few matches with another content creator who makes Pauper videos, Ridikolaus. There'll be a link to their channel in the description. They're actually going to be putting up these same matches on their channel from their perspective, and here you get to see my perspective and my thought process as we play through them. They're mostly a terror player, so they played Mono Blue Terror, Dimir Terror, and then they end up playing Red Dredge, which is something they've been playing recently. And I played Jund Wildfire, Black Sack, and Esper Affinity. This was a lot of fun to do, so I hope you enjoy. Let's jump right into the matches. Alright, here we are, round one, and this hand is okay. Not the best thing ever, but we know we're against Blue Terror, so having a Spell Bomb on one can be really powerful. They're starting with a Delver, and we immediately draw the Bridge. Makes me kind of want to play that. I don't currently have anything to play on turn 2, though, so I think I'm just going to play a Landscape to dodge Counterspell on the Spell Bomb. Then next turn I can play Bridge, crack the Landscape for green, and go from there. Obviously they have a Delver, so we also need to find a removal spell for that, or just Chrysalis can block it in a couple turns. But making it so that we don't have to worry about the terrors for a couple turns is pretty nice. So Delver of Secrets here. Brainstorm in response to flip the Delver. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a flipped Delver, almost assuredly. I guess they could whiff, have 7 cards, no spells. Seems unlikely though. So they flip off a Mental Note, play an island. They're going to come in for 3. Just pass the turn. We get a Krark. Obviously, we can't cast it yet, and also Krark just doesn't do that much in this matchup. It could be good later if they do get some terrors down, but right now, not looking too hot. They're going to Mental Note right away. Hits a Lorien and a land. So without another Mental Note, I don't need to fear a terror this turn, which means I can hopefully hold the Spell Bomb until we can actually get a card off of it. We'll take another 3. If they go for a Mental Note, it's kind of tough. I feel like I probably have to Spell Bomb, because if they get a terror down, they only have to hit one. Ooh, Delver's good. They only have to hit one spell to be able to play a terror, and I couldn't really do too much against that. Second Delver is going to make me question if I should just play Krark to try to kill that Delver. Alright, land is decent because it lets us play Chris next turn. I could pulse back this Landscape, but I don't think I'm doing that, so I think I'm playing Krark. And if this resolves, I might just crack the Spell Bomb to kill the Delver. I don't want to lose a land, and we're going to die to Delvers next turn. Of course, I could sacrifice a land to this. That doesn't seem very good. Yeah, I kind of think... Let's see, if we do it in their upkeep in response to the trigger, this means that they might think that I'm playing, still cracking the Spell Bomb. I think we can deal with the terrors, but the aberrations, if they just have a counterspell for Chris or a Demon Furier, we're just going to die to these guys. So I kind of think we just need to Krark here for 1. Not my favorite thing ever, but Munitions is interesting. They're going to swing for 3. Of course, Delver might not have flipped. They might not have had a Brainstorm or just blindly flipped it, but if they did, I just think it'd be really bad for us. They're going to Mental Note, hits 2 spells, so that means 1 mana terrors. There's a Cryptic Serpent. Okay, just 1 mana means, unless they have 4 Spike, Chrysalis should resolve. Pretty much all we got, and that means we have blockers for both. Even if this does get 4 Spiked, I have a blocker for the Serpent. Okay, that did all resolve. Pretty good for us. They go for a Brainstorm, which could mean a Demon Furier is coming right after. They do have the Demon Furier, so I'm going to block Serpent. We'll go to 8. I wouldn't have mana to Offering and draw this again. I mean, I still think we're putting it on the top. Block with a Spawn. Go to 8. They have another Serpent. Well, and they do Thought Scour us. I thought that was a possibility, so we lose the Chrysalis. Of course, I can pulse it back, and then I block Offering. It's probably my best way to survive here. I'm just going to do this now so it doesn't get countered. I'm not targeting their graveyard right now. Of course, I could pulse back the Krark, but without Death Touch, we're a couple artifacts away from getting these. So yeah, Chrysalis. And if they have a removal spell for the Spawn, we're going to die. Haven't seen any of our cast downs yet. Would love to get some off our draw spell here. Deep Analysis. We're going to block and go for an Offering. Refurb is decent. It's a blocker. Get some value. Wellspring. Start with the Refurb. No counterspell on that. Dispel. Interesting. They discarded Dispel. We had gone for an Offering that they could have dispelled, so they absolutely have the counterspell here. I don't think that changes much. I still have to play Chrysalis to just not die, but it does pretty much show that they definitely have that, because that's the only reason that they wouldn't have cast the Dispel before, is if they had needed the double mana. We do get to trade here, double chump, go for another Offering. So if I can find another Chrysalis, maybe a cast down, we could still survive. They do have a deep analysis, so they get to draw a couple cards though. Right there. Swing with the team, we'll make the obvious blocks and sacrifice the other spawn to draw 2. That works, and we get a refurb and a Lembas. Okay. We'll see if they have more terrors though. There's a terror. 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts. I mean, if we get a Krark and it doesn't get countered, I could wipe the whole board. That would be our best bet. I think we have 2 more in the list. Yeah, 2 more Krarks, no Toxin in the list. Okay. Chrysalis plus refurb does keep us alive. I mean, I think we start with the refurb so that we have a way to eat their counterspell if they have one. Cycle a Lorien, sure. Get an island out of their deck. Pretty good card to make them discard though. And then, I mean, we have to play Chrysalis to survive. I could crack an Offering with a spawn here, or I could try to map onto the Chrysalis, and if we hit a counter, then I actually get to eat a terror. I think that's our best bet, probably. If we get a land, we haven't played a land this turn, that's not bad either. There's the Krark. Okay, well, I didn't really want to showcase it, but if they don't get a counterspell, then I could Krark next turn, wipe the board. This Chrysalis will actually survive since we added a counter to it. And then we might very well win the game. They flip off a Sleep of the Dead. Well, that's unfortunate. That's exactly what they needed. Tap these 2, and we block. We take 8. Dang, what a top deck. That was unfortunate. We were just about to get what we needed to turn the corner. Alright, well, we die. Close one, for sure. Let's see, we do have Go for the Throats in our sideboard. The sideboard's a little janky. We have an extra Spell Bomb, and then Duress or Toxin Analysis. What can we cut? Makeshift isn't very good. Limbus and Insight are okay. Do we want Toxin? Do we want Krarks? I probably want, like, 1 fewer, but maybe a Toxin Analysis in there. Duress is pretty good. This is a lot of cards to bring in, though. Gixians do get wiped by their Demon Inferior pretty easily. I do want just cheaper cards, so I think the Duresses for cheaper cards is decent, so I can have some more interaction on the earlier turns. Pulse is also decent just because it blanks one of their attacks, pretty much. Alright, we're on the play this time. Yeah, this hand's just reasonable enough. Krark can be good, but we also just have Cast Down, Wellspring, all of our colors. Seems decent enough. We are gonna turn one to Sligwood's Bridge and hope they don't just Steel Sabotage it. That would be unfortunate. Pass the turn here. Alright, we get a Spell Bomb. I mean, I'll just play a Wellspring. It could get Spell Pierced or annulled. But if not, it's a good draw. Ooh, Wildfire's not bad. Thought Scour themselves. Lorien, Brainstorm. Just pass with Counterspell up. So I could Cleansing Wildfire. They counter that and I get a Spell Bomb down. That's something. I could play Krark. If they counter that, I can get Spell Bomb and Refurb, but that doesn't seem like something they probably would counter this early. Yeah, I think we'll just go for a Wildfire. See what they want to do about it. Hydroblast. Alright, we'll play the Spell Bomb. They have 4 cards in the grave. I mean, if they go for a Thought Scour on the end step, I think I'd crack the Spell Bomb, but if not, if they just want to use their whole turn casting 1 terror, I think I'm okay with that. They do. Would love a Swamp. Not quite. I wanted to be able to play Refurb and then also crack the Spell Bomb, drawing a card, or just a land to blow up the terror. Now, I can play Krark, crack the Spell Bomb, play a Bridge. I think I'll just cast the Refurb, see what they want to discard. Just an island. Play Krark. I think I'll pass. I don't know. I could blow up their graveyard, but we have a Krark on board, so I also think they already might be hesitant to play another Terror out. If they do, it's going to use up most of their mana again, and then I can potentially just wipe the board with the Krark. We'll take 5 here. Hydroblast on the Krark. That is pretty good. Now maybe I need to blow up the graveyard in response, because I'm not about to sacrifice 5 artifacts here. So let's prevent a Terror from coming down, another one. I could just sack the Wellspring to draw a card here. I kind of want to. It makes it the next Krark worse. It makes like a Wellspring bad, but I have the guys from the Chrysalis. Yeah, I think we will just draw the card here. Yeah, there's the Offering, but we will have Spawn from the Chrysalis, so it's probably fine. We also just have double Cast Down. They probably have a counter spell. I think we just play Chrysalis. It probably gets countered, but then it makes it easier to cast this down. Plus we get our guys, which can chump block or what have you. Oops, I meant to attack there with the Refurb, but I did not, so we wasted 2 damage. I think I want to take another 5 here. It's risky, but currently I want to use the Spawn with Offering. They only have 2 cards left, although if they play like a Lorien here, it'd be pretty good, although then I get to kill the Terror, so they might be thinking that through. Yep, and then just go for the Lorien. So I will kill the Terror, pretty sure. Ooh, double Offering is tempting too, but I think we'll just kill this while they're tapped out. Try not to waste our 2 damage this time. Mental Note hits 2 islands, lucky for me. It's 4 spells in the yard, so still a pretty pricey Serpent. Play a Bridge. We're gonna cast their Serpent down in their upkeep, unless they like cast something on the end step here. And then even if they counter that, I have a Chump Block and a Fanatical Offering. That worked. Pretty good for us. Could mean just more Serpents are coming. If they got nothing though, I mean, they didn't have a Counterspell / Dispel before. We'll try to counter this. Maybe they have like a Spell Pierce, but that's fine. Yeah, they have the Dispel. Maybe they just drew it because they did do it in the upkeep. Well, I'll try to draw 2 here. If they have another Counterspell, that's not great because I lose my all my blockers, but I'm going to Duress, see what they're holding. Could just be all lands, I guess. Okay, Annul, Sleep Dead. That makes sense. We'll take the Annul, map onto this. We hit a Duress. We'll put that into our graveyard. Swing for 3. All right, we're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, if they draw better than we will, they're probably going to win. But we have a decent clock on them. I mean, it's what, 5 turns plus their Sleep of the Dead, so it could be like 10 turns, but we have some pressure is the good thing. Toxin Analysis. I think I'm just going to cycle that. Cast it on our Refurb to draw a card here. If we draw like a Chrysalis or something, it'd be really good to get a turn earlier. And the only reason to hold it would be if I get another Krark and they get their Terror down, but I think that's fine. They go for a Mental Note, and you can ponder in an island. Play an island. They're probably holding at least 1 island for a Brainstorm as well, so can probably assume they have at least 1 more in hand. They do go for the Sleep of the Dead now on the Refurb. We get an offering. Yeah, I think we'll offering a land here. Hope they don't have a Counterspell, but if they do, it's, you know, not the end of the world either, I suppose. They do. We'll just pass back to them. Like, if that gets countered and then we draw the Chrysalis or something and that doesn't get countered, that's pretty good. They found another Lorien. That's pretty strong. Play an island. No Sleep of the Dead, so they're probably holding up a Counterspell. I do get the Chrysalis. They're not going to tap out again, so, like, I think I just go for it now. There might be, you know, they could hold up a Counterspell, but it could be like an Annul or something. It was not an Annul, unfortunate. They haven't drawn any more creatures yet, so I guess I can't complain too much. They go for a Brainstorm. There's a Terror. Oh, there's another Terror. And a Sleep of the Dead on a Spawn, so I can't block with it next turn. Duress. Well, things are not looking great. We'll take a Dispel from them. Realistically, I probably should have held the Duress until the next turn, because if they draw a Counterspell for whatever we get, then it'd be worse. But we'll hit for 3. They're at 4. We're not dead next turn, but we're dead the turn after, because they can just tap all our blockers. We also have 4 Spell Bombs in our deck. I guess I used one early, which is probably always a mistake. Not necessarily. If they had flooded the board early with a bunch of terrors, I would have been in a bad spot, but would love another Serpent. Okay, I need Spellbomb into Fanatical, and then Krark. Yeah, and then Krark I can do for 5, or Krark plus Toxin. Any of that would be good. Refurb is a redraw. That's not bad, but we need to hit something pretty good. That's not good enough. We'll cycle it. Go for the Throat. I can kill this. They tap down 2 of these, and they got it. Unfortunate. This can be a tough matchup for sure. We're a little slow, and they're very fast. That's okay. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. Alright, round 2, playing against Ridikolaus, and we're on Black Sack versus Dimir Terror. Definitely got a mulligan that one. This one I think we're going to keep. We have Link Breaker with Carrion Feeder, Stamina. I think we'd probably get rid of Vampire or Tragic Slip. Greedy part of me wants to get rid of Vampire, but if the Carrion Feeder dies, we need it. I think we are getting rid of the Vampire, though. Let's start with a nice Tunnel. We get our Swamp, that's nice. We'll just play the Link Breaker. I could play Carrion Feeder, but they could immediately cast it down, and then we're in a kind of a bad spot. Whereas here, I can play a Swamp, Carrion Feeder, and then leave up a Stamina, and if they try to kill it, then I can Stamina it. Play a Snacker, another Carrion Feeder. Well, in that case, we're probably fine if we want to just swing and Stamina the Link Breaker. They're going to take it. I think we will just go for the Stamina right now, hit for 3, sacrifice, bring it right back, pass the turn. Alright, they're just going to play an island and pass. Shambling Gas does let me pick off the Snacker if I want to do that. I think we're going to play the Shambler, or Shambling Gas rather, see if they want to counterspell. If not, I think we'll play another Carrion Feeder. I don't want them to block our Carrion Feeder, force us to sack something, and then cast it down. So I think we are going to just pick off the Snacker right here. If they have a Brainstorm, it's worse, but I have a second feeder now, so I can grow both of these. And Diversify gets to cast down. The Brainstorm comment, though, is, of course, they'll get the Snacker back. If they have a Brainstorm right now, we'll swing for 4, just pass the turn. There's a Thought Scour, Terror, and Attachments. Nothing else on the end step is interesting. Mental Note hits 2 Ice Tunnels. They have a Snuff Out for the Mercenary token. That is interesting. I mean, of course, they can't target much else with the Mercenary, or the Snuff Out, rather, but interesting to just take the 4 life loss there. They have like a Suffocating Fumes. I don't think that would make much sense. Oh, Terror. Okay, so they did that so they could play the Terror. They're at 9, though. If I get a land here, I can Tragic Slip the Terror. If we don't... Let's see, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can't quite kill them unless they just don't block anything, which I'm not expecting. So I probably just attack and then force them to chump. If they block the Link Breaker here, I can kill them, but I'm not expecting that. I assume they'll go for the bigger feeder just to be safe. They're actually going for the smaller feeder. So again, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I can't kill them here still. I could just put them to 2. Stamina this, sack the feeder. I think that might be the play. Or I could trade for this by doing stamina here, sacking the Link Breaker. They take 3. I have a feeder back. Kill the Terror. I'm not sure I care that much about that. Plus I have a Tragic Slip. I think we're going here. Sack the feeder. Hit for 7. Village Rights the Link Breaker. And no land, so we'll just pass. But they have to have another blocker or like a lifelink here. Although I would just block with the Mercenary and sack if they attack here, I think, in order to survive. And then if I get a land, I can still Tragic Slip one of their guys. They're hard casting a Mercenary, or I keep saying that. No, it's a Gurmag. I was thinking hard cast a Snuff Out on the Mercenary, but Tragic Slip works on the Angler. They specifically left up mana to counterspell here, which makes sense. Ooh, Shambler. Play a Shambler. If they counter that, I can Tragic Slip the Gurmag and just win. If they don't, then I can just make a bunch of squirrels and we'll probably win through that anyway. They do go for the counterspell, and then I get to Mercenary onto the Link Breaker here. Sacrifice the Mercenary, Tragic Slip the Gurmag Angler, attack with 2 lethal attackers. So they fell for the bait, but again, the bait was really good because if they didn't counter it, I could just pump it up, make a bunch of squirrels, and I probably could kill them next turn unless they draw like perfectly. So it was really good for us. Here we get Tragic Slips, Rotten Reunions, Spell Bombs, exchange for Rite of Consumption, some Bloodthrone Vampires. Ghast isn't super helpful here. Like, it can pick off a Snacker, which can be good and was actually good this time, but not always the most useful. I think that's probably good. I could bring in some Mesmeric Fiends or something, but I think we'll be pretty good with all these Tragic Slips and Graveyard Hate. Alright, this hand doesn't have a lot of frills to it. Not a lot of utility, but it's just pretty dang solid with Carrion Feeder, Beetle, Glee, and a Sage. We would want more fodder here, but hey, there we go. I'm going to start with the Carrion Feeder because if they just cast it down, I have another one. And they just play a Snacker again. Getting a little unlucky not drawing any of the Abandoned Attachments to draw alongside getting the Snacker. Another Beetle, dang. I think I want to play a Beetle and a Shambler here. And I'm actually not going to attack. Usually I'd be okay sacrificing the Shambler if they wanted to block and like sack 2, but it still is probably okay here. But seeing as we have both a Beetle and a Glee in hand still, I kind of want to make the most of all of the counters we can get by sacrificing creatures. In addition, I kind of want to put the Sadistically on the Shambler to make additional squirrels. So like if I don't get a land next turn, I could do Sage and Glee on the Shambler, sack the Sage twice to get 2 counters here, then we attack for 9, and then this can make more squirrels. Like, that's a nice way to hedge against going wide and tall. We have both options. They do just cast down the feeder, which I still get to grow the Beetle, and is kind of a little bit of bait because I don't actually mind if they do that since I have another feeder. They do have an island. Pass the turn. So I would love a swamp here, actually. Yeah. The only thing I could really be worried about for counter spells, except for like a foil, would be like a Force Spike. So I think we're just going to lead on feeder, make sure that resolves. Then a Sadistic Glee on the Shambler. I Actually, no. We're going to go Beetle and then Sage here. I'm still going to try not to sacrifice too many things because I'd like this Glee to be on the Shambler, but I think we will attack with the Beetle here. If they want to block, I'll sack one Sage to keep my Beetle alive, grow the team a little bit. We're probably going to need to grow against like a potential Suffocating Fumes or Arms of Vidar anyway. And if we're lucky like we were last time and the Snacker doesn't ever come back, then it's pretty good to get it out of the way early here. Even if it does come back, and I mean, they could have Brainstorm. That's what the island's for. Comes back right away. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have wasted that then. It's probably fine. Not that big of a deal, but probably should have paid a little more attention to the untapped blue there. They Thought Scour in their upkeep, getting rid of a couple lands. I mean, we're still in a pretty good spot for sure. Although if we lose this feeder, you know, if they have another cast down, things could get worse because we don't have a way to trigger all the rest of the stuff, which is going to happen here. Yeah, I'm just going to sack it to itself. It grows the beetles beyond the Snacker being able to kill them, so we'll be able to get in for some good damage. They're going to pass. Shambler. Alright, I'm going to play a Shambler, and I'm going to sadistically onto this Shambler. This means if they block, especially if they block one of our 1-power creatures, or yeah, 1 power, 1 toughness creatures, then this will get a couple counters. If they don't block and then they immediately have like a Suffocating Fumes, it's a bit of a waste, but at the very least it's still kind of making like our 4/4 Beetle unblockable, so it's not terrible. I guess they could just chump the 4/4, and if they have like an Arms of Vidar, they still get to wipe it, but we'll see. 1 counter onto the Shambler. They take 5 and we'll pass. They have the Brainstorm again. Snacker putting in some work this time. They do have a Terror and another Snacker. Without a sack outlet, our beetles can't get past the Terror right now. Link Breaker doesn't do it. We're going to attack with our expendable creatures, because if they want to trade or block, then we get to grow our Shambler. Or we just get in for a couple damage, which is also fine. I think I'm probably sandbagging the Link Breaker, because if they get a Suffocating Fumes, I don't want them to get rid of it as well. Well, it would be another creature to grow this Shambler, but if it's an Arms of Vidar, it's really bad. Yeah, let's just wait. Don't need to play it. They just play an island. Makes me think they might have a Lorien, or all they have is islands. Oh, lands. They're going to swing with the Snackers. Okay. Going a bit on the offensive. This means if we get removal for Terror, it's like pretty bad for them, so they might have a counter spell for their last card. I could attack with everybody. If they block here, they take 7. It's pretty good. It's not amazing. 7, we throw this away. This gets another counter. Or if they block here, they take 9, and I get 2 more squirrels. Don't think I'm quite there. Throwing away the beetles, that is. We'll swing with the small guys again, though. And we will play a Link Breaker. Swing with the Snackers again. We'll take 4. Play an island. Get a Rotten Reunion. Be good if I could ever kill the Snackers. If we attack here, they block. 1, 2, 3, 9. I'm worried about a cast down. But if they take 9, it's pretty good. Plus we have instant speed, double Rotten Reunion for extra attackers. I think we're just attacking with the team here, hoping for the best. I think the worst case is they have like Unexpected Fangs. Since we don't have a way to sack our guy going up against theirs, they gain a bunch of life. And then they attack us and gain a bunch of life. They do have the Fumes. Okay, that's actually not terrible. For every one of these we lose, we actually get a counter on the Shambler. We also get a Mercenary to block on the back end. So we still hit for 6. Put him to 5. This grows again. Plus I have a Rotten Reunion at instant speed for 4 extra damage out of nowhere, so we might be able to get them next turn if they attack again with the Snackers. Although, they might be a little more wary of doing that now. Mental Note hits Cast Down Lorien. If they do no attacks, then we don't technically have lethal on them. So I think we're not going to waste the Rotten Reunion here. Pump the Shambler and just attack. I assume it'll just get jumped by a Snacker. But then I get to exile the Snacker with the Reunion. Plus this grows bigger. Yep, jump with the Snacker. Another counter and we'll pass. They have a Ponder. No Shuffle. And Abandon Attachments, which is going to trigger the Snacker. Then we'll exile it. Discarding a Spell Pierce. Here's the Rotten Reunion. We get a zombie out of the deal. Thought Scour. Brainstorm Counterspell. So I could Rotten Reunion here, and that technically gives us lethal on board, but if they have a counterspell or anything, it's not great. I don't think we need to force that, so we won't. We'll just swing with the Shambler. I mean, feels like we should have been able to close this one out. And again, I could go for it. Maybe I just should, but I don't feel like I need to. They do go for the double block. Of course, this is going to make a million squirrels, but if they have the Arms of Vidar or Suffocating Fumes, it's not that bad for them. I will get to keep my Beetle around, and I can always Reunion the Snacker. I'll probably do it at the end of their turn. I'll go for the Reunion so that I have lethal with a Beetle and the Reunion. Because if they like go to draw, try to get the Snacker back, and then I exile it, and then they have the Arms of It Are, then I lose my zombie. They just have a terror here. Feels like they probably have a Suffocating Fumes if they're passing, but they could also just be forcing me to actually attack. If I do attack with everything and they have fumes, I lose this. I would first mercenary onto the zombie. They block the beetle, they take 2, and then I actually lose everything. So I might as well just attack with the squirrels. They could also have Unexpected Fangs. Well, if they do, that would kind of suck, but mostly expecting just a Suffocating. Yup, there it is. Pass the turn. I mean, we're very close to getting there, but we could fall short if they draw the right cards. And that's what happens when you draw, I'm pretty sure, 4 swamps in a row. There's a Lorien. Yeah, I'll try to exile that Snacker. Play an Ice Tunnel. Another Terror. I saw 2 Carrion Feeders early, and then I haven't seen any of our sack outlets. I guess I did take out 2 Vampires, but we also have Village Rights. We have a lot of things that could get there. I could attack with the zombies because they sack themselves and grow the beetle, but they actually don't sack themselves if they're already dead. If I attack with everything, they eat the beetle, they take 2, and then I lose, so that's not going to work either. They have Extract Confession to make me sack the beetle. Okay. And then they attack. I'll take it. I've drawn so many lands. I mean, I guess we're going to pass. If they can kill the Shambling Ghast, I'll just lose. I can't attack with everything, though, because we don't get it for lethal, and then we definitely lose. Yep, they got the Arms of Vidar. I'll shrink one of these, but we're dead. Dude, we drew like 5 lands in a row there. Well, and a Shambling Ghast in between. But it was really losing the feeders, so the double cast down they had early. Pretty good. I mean, that makes me want to bring in the Vampire again, but like, usually we would have been okay. Like, almost always when I lose, it's because I don't have enough fodder, not because I don't have enough sack outlets. But sure, let's swap out 1 Sage here. Actually, the Ghasts are really just not as good, aren't they? We'll do that. All right, on the play. No sack outlet. No, this doesn't have a fast enough cohesive game plan. If we never draw a sack outlet, we lose this game 100% of the time. Here we have no lands, unfortunately. And this one's about the same as the first one, but now we kind of have to keep it. Yep, put back those. Play Shambler, because if I get a Village Rights, I can go for Stamina Shambler, or Stamina Village Rights, rather, and then we have some decent attacks. Vampire's not a bad draw. Swing for 1, so we're going to get that down, actually. I haven't seen a Force Spike, so I'm hoping this is... Okay, yeah, just a mental note. Spell Pierce. Good to know about. Island. Tragic Slip. So they probably have Counterspell, which means either Beetle or Stamina's not resolving. Which would I rather resolve? I mean, Beetle, if it resolves without the Stamina, is at best like a 3-3. But if I resolve the Stamina and they then just have like a Suffocating Fumes, it's pretty bad. But their Suffocating Fumes would probably be from a tapped black source, which means I have 2 turns. So I think we're going to do Beetle and then Stamina if they counter this. They do counter, so we'll go for that. Swing for 3, or 4 rather, and sacrifice, make a few guys, and hope for the best. If they just have the Suffocating Fumes, then, you know, like Swamp Suffocating, it's pretty bad. Whereas if they don't, I mean, I could hit for as much as 11 next turn. More if I get like another Stamina, I might just have to go for it, even through a potential counter spell. They go for a Brainstorm. Then they Thought Scour. So, feels like they're looking for something desperately. We don't have them dead necessarily, but definitely could. Oh, or they're just trying to get out a quick Terror. I guess if I get a land, I can just Tragic Slip the Terror. If not, we have an Infestation Sage, which I'm pretty sure that is lethal off the Vampire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 14. So yeah, they have to block Vampire. The hard part here is that I have to trade 3 pieces of fodder for this Terror, which is not a very good rate, but I guess that's what we're doing. Yep, they block, and I will sacrifice 3 to kill the Terror. This is why I cut a couple Vampires and why they're so much worse than feeders and stuff. Like, obviously I'd have to have sacked 5 creatures to a feeder, but then I'd have a 6/6 feeder as opposed to, once again, a 1/1. If they play another Terror and I have to attack with a Vampire and sack 3 things, then I just lose. I only have 1 piece of fodder left, and that's just not very good. So ideally, if they have another Terror, they tap out, I get a land, and I can just sack 1 thing and Tragic Slip it, hit for 5. But they do have an Ice Tunnel and a Terror, and we do get a Swamp. I mean, like, I'm not crazy excited to have gotten the Swamp necessarily, but we're definitely going to go for this. Hope they don't have a Spell Pierce. I've started playing Tragic Slips in the main, or I'm trying out Tragic Slips in the main versus Snuff Outs. They do have the Spell Pierce. Really unfortunate. Now it's only 2 more things to sacrifice, but then I'm left with so little. This Vampire's not getting there anyway. I think I am just swinging with Vampire, killing their Terror. I think our only way to win right now is to draw out the game a little bit longer and need to draw better than they do. Tragic Slip in general is better in this matchup because it can hit Gurmag Anglers, which is good, and Snackers. But just against terror in general, it's certainly worse than a Snuff Out, because that extra mana makes a big difference. There's the Gurmag. They left up Counterspell mana again. We certainly can't attack. I'll play a Vampire. Yeah, they can Counterspell it. It's not the worst thing to get Counterspelled. And it's 2 mana, so if I draw another 2-drop, I can't cast them at the same time. My deck's mostly not 2-drops, though. It's mostly 1-drops, so maybe I should have kept it as bait for later. But, well, this match was going very well in Game 1 and Game 2, and it's looking like we might actually lose it after all. Them attacking is not a good sign. It means they either have unexpected fangs or just more creatures. Can't really afford to lose our squirrel at the moment, though, so yep, it's the fangs. I've also cut Marauders from the deck in this exact iteration, which is also a better card in this matchup. So this is good to know. I was trying, I've been trying this list out in the general meta, and it's felt good, but Dibir Terror is not something I'm super popular, so I'm not always playing against it. And it's good to know that I think I'm losing a significant amount of points in this matchup by not playing Gurmag, or not playing Marauders, and potentially by not playing the Snuff Outs in Game 1. I don't know. Although we won Game 1, so I'm not sure that matters, I suppose. But yeah, no Marauders is rough right now. Cast down for the Vampire. Yup. Which means I can't chump and sack with a Squirrel. I mean, if we get a removal spell, then we chump next turn, Tragic Slip. Like, we're in a bad spot, I gotta admit. There's Abandoned Attachments. We'll see if we catch a Snacker. We don't. I mean, we need them to draw nothing, and then we get maybe a Carrion Feeder here, so we can have a chump, block, sack, and then fodder from then on out. Maybe we have a chance. Just a Swamp ain't gonna do it. We'll swing for 1, and they Brainstorm. Let's block. Now we get a Village Rites. Sure. We'll Rotten Reunion to get a fodder creature to sacrifice to Village Rites, probably into their counterspell. If not, this could be a good way to actually start getting back into this game. I mean, I'm not anticipating us winning, but yeah. All right, they got it. All right, round 3 here on the play. I believe we're against Red Dredge, and we're playing Esper Affinity. Bojuka Bog and Spellbomb in the opener is pretty good against Dredge. That said, Raven's Crime is not great, cast downs are probably not amazing, and our mana is kind of rough. Just 2 colors, not a lot of lands, so I almost think this is a mulligan. I think we'll keep it, though, just because we know what we're up against. They know what they're up against, so they could also be keeping a hand that's similarly good against us. But I mean, even just a turn 2 Bojuka Bog potentially could catch like Faithless Looting, discarding a couple cards. Valorant Epicure, well, that makes things worse. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I'm gonna Raven's Crime them and then just Bojuka Bog right away. We do have the Spellbomb still, and Cryogen is a good draw, but not getting as much value out of like a Bojuka Bog as I would like. Then again, if they discard like their only Stinkweed Imp or something, could be okay. Dread Return, not terrible to get rid of. And they have Grab the Prize, Snacker, Epicure getting in. We get a Vault of Whispers. I think we just got a Cryogen and I guess Spellbomb. No white mana is going to make this pretty brutal. I mean, Cast Down can be decent, getting rid of a Snacker or whatever. But currently, having no white mana is definitely rough. They swing for 3 and just play a Molten Gatekeeper. Cast Down, of course, I could just kill Gatekeeper or Snacker or something. Thoughtcast is pretty good, though. If I don't draw a land, then I won't end up drawing a card from the Spellbomb, but I think the Thoughtcast is good enough to try for it. Okay, Thraben Charm is really good, too, if we had white mana. But what are we getting rid of? The Gatekeeper? It's a lot of damage. I guess I could just wait until their turn, and if they try to play a creature, then I can kill it. That's probably best. Plus, if they go for any sort of other graveyard synergies, like grab the prize on another Snacker, then I can cast down and response. Cast down and response, get them both with the Spellbomb. Looting is a good one that we can get some value off of. At the very least, just getting rid of the Faithless with the Spellbomb. If they double like Fiery Temper here, that's not great, but what are you going to do? Discard a Stinkweed Imp and a Mountain. They're going to swing. We will cast down the Gatekeeper. They can bring the Stinkweed Imp back to hand with like the Blood Token if we go for a Spellbomb on it, but then there's still just milling a bunch that we get to exile, so it's not the end of the world. I would love to keep the Spellbomb around longer. I guess I could keep it one more turn and then cast down the Snacker here. Flashback Looting, sure. They are going to mill 5. Hit a Snacker, Scrapwork Mutt, Skittering Kittens. They re-discard the Stinkweed Imp. Yeah, I think we're going to cast down the Snacker and then Spellbomb here. Ooh, we get a Cryogen, but I definitely want to blow up the grave, I believe. Okay, there we go. We get our Ancient Den. I could just hold up Thraben Charm, but I think we're waiting a little bit on that. We finally get our white mana, so we get to pick up the Cryogen. Suffocating Fumes could be okay. Feels like we're coming online now. And we're still at 10, not super low, which is nice. We have a Scrapwork Mutt, discarding a Sneaky Snacker. We might just hold up like Suffocating Fumes into Thraben Charm next turn. They have a Grab the Prize with the Stinkweed Imp, gets back the Snacker, and they mill another Scrapwork Mutt and a bunch of lands. Oh, they discarded another Snacker? That's pretty good. Or they milled a second Snacker, which happens before they draw their third card, because they replace the first draw with it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Fumes is going to be really good, though. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Maybe they pay 2 mana to, like, unearth the Scrapwork Mutt or something, and we get additional value from them, like, wasting mana. Discard Stinkweed Imp to the Blood Token. Mill 5, hitting a Gatekeeper and a Faithless Looting. They did that in their upkeep, so if they milled another Stinkweed Imp, they could dredge it as well. That's smart. Unearth the Gatekeeper. I think we're at a low enough life total that I just want to Suffocating Fumes here, and then exile their graveyard. I could maybe get them to use some extra mana on like the Scrapwork Mutt, but the Gatekeeper is not going to die to the Fumes, so if they have like a few creatures from hand, I could just take some damage I don't really want to. And this feels pretty strong anyway. I knew for this matchup we have a lot of graveyard hate, so it might be a little favored for us, but also we're a really slow deck, so they could definitely take advantage of that and kill us before we can get our feet under us. But here, looks like we're doing okay. Grab the prize, discarding a Stinkweed Imp. We take another 2. We do need some life gain, because we still could just die to like Fiery Tempers and stuff. Mills 2 Dread Returns. I think we have a Compass somewhere. Maybe it's just in the sideboard, though. Faithless Looting discards 2 Stinkweed Imps. Let's start with a Cryogen. Mirror Enforcer. I'm gonna Thoughtcast first. We get a Rebuke, but that's not doing as much as we would like it to yet. Enforcer costs 1. Glinthawk picks up Relic, and I guess I'll Raven's Crime them for 1. They already have Stinkweeds in the grave, so it doesn't really matter if they discard another one here. Alright, we'll see if we die here, because we definitely could. 3 Stinkweed Imps trigger. They finally mill their Lotleth Giants. Oh yeah, if they just get 3 creatures for a giant, and they hit a Molten Gatekeeper. Bring back Gatekeeper, bring back Scrapwork Mutt, and if they have just one more creature, we'll just die to the Giants. See, even through all of our graveyard hate, I think we're going to just lose. I assume we'll see discard a Stinkweed Imp, dredge 5. If they can get another unearthed creature. No. They hit a Faithless Looting. I should probably just pop this out. Oh, they have an Epicure in hand. There we go. Yep. If we'd had more blue mana early, well, if we could have held up Rebuke here, we could survive. But looks like we're going to die. Close one. We do get Blue Blast, Navigator's Compass. Yeah, I didn't have any compasses in the main deck. Fairy Macabre, Shrivel and or Duress. We have a lot of stuff. Tithing Blades, Cast Downs don't really feel necessary. Blood Fountains, late game, and they're not really going to be killing our creatures. Raven's Crime. Bauble probably not as good as like Duress is. Some cast downs for the Molten Gatekeepers is probably necessary. Alright. We have a very similar hand to last time. We're on the play. I mean, I'm gonna keep this hand, but we have no white mana again. Bojuka Bog could be good. We'll see. Probably try to get a little more value out of the Bojuka Bog this time. Play a bridge and pass. They play an Epicure. We'll take a damage. Compass is a great draw. It gains us life, it fixes our mana, and we just needed one more artifact to be able to play our refurbs and Thoughtcasts for cheaper, so it's great. I'm hoping they don't have Cast in the Fire right away to like blow up our mana, but now if they have to take the Compass or our bridge, we still have some amount of mana and lands and stuff. They do discard a Snacker right away, which I'm sure will come back before I can bog it, unfortunately. I could have waited on the refurb and just used the Glinthawk to pick up the Compass right away. Maybe that would have been better. Definitely could have been. I mean, if they like grab the prize double Snacker this time, it's going to be real unfortunate. Swing with the Epicure, we'll take 1. Conduit Pylons to Surveil. Bin a Fiery Temper. And there's a Scrapwork Mutt. That's not going to be the third card, so Snacker won't come back. Discard a Lotleth Giant. Okay, so I do get to bog. We get a Cast Down. I could Cast Down and then bog. I think there's probably better things to cast down, so I think we'll just Thoughtcast. Ooh, I could just hold up Blue Blast. That could even potentially stop Snacker from coming back. I probably don't want to risk that. We just want to bog anyway. Question is, do I just want to hold up Blue Blast or play Glinthawk? I think we'll just hold up the Blast, and I also think we won't attack. We are the control deck for sure here, and I'll trade the refurb for the Scrapwork Mutt for sure. But now I can protect against a Cast in the Fire, grab the prize, a few different scary red cards. Discard a Snacker to a blood token, play a Mountain. I'll block the Mutt here, and I guess they could unearth the Mutt right now to get back the Snacker, but no, they're going to play an Epicure and then discard. I think to keep the snacker away, I'm gonna blast this. Turn this into an island. It's not the best thing ever to blast, but it's a 1/1 plus a 2/1 flying. Seems decent. Cryogen Relic. Okay, that's pretty good. Play that. Razortide Bridge. We'll make this a plains. And Glint Hawk back the Cryogen Relic. Play a bridge and pass. We're feeling okay. They only have 3 cards in hand. We're still at 20 life. Scrapwork Mutt comes back from the grave. Ditches a Fiery Temper, which is probably going to take out the Glint Hawk. They get in for 3. Or it could go directly at face and they attack with the Scrapwork Mutt, could get in for 5. But yeah, they kill off the Hawk. And Epicure. Oh, I think they forgot to attack accidentally. Missing 3 damage. It happens. We did it earlier, though. We'll play Cryogen Relic. Duress. Might whiff, but they still have 2 cards in hand. We'll take a Fiery Temper. They have a Stinkweed Imp left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts. So I think we'll just play... we'll just play Goldmire Bridge and then Mirror Enforcer. I could have played the untapped land and also played the Thoughtcast this turn. But I don't need to play Thoughtcast this turn. Like, I can draw next turn. It'll be about the same, plus we get our tap land down this turn. Upkeep, they're gonna discard the Stinkweed Imp to the blood. Going for the double dredge attempt again. They don't get another Stinkweed Imp, but they hit Faithless, Lotleth Giant to grab the prize. Not quite what they wanted in the yard. Flashback Faithless. I mean, that was good to get back, actually, because the Snacker comes back now. They discard 2 Stinkweed Imps. Goldmire Bridge. Now would be a good time to get another Graveyard Hate piece. Okay, we'll just play an Enforcer. I think I'm going to crack the Cryogen because we're kind of running out of stuff to do here. Oof. All lands. I feel like this is going to be similar to the Black Sack game where I think I'm very much ahead here, but I'm just going to get flooded and then we're going to end up losing. But we'll see. They do dredge a Stinkweed Imp. Siege Smash is their artifact removal of choice. That makes sense, especially for spell bombs. So if I get a spell bomb and I play it, I should use it right away. Or rather, I should only play it when I'm ready to use it, and then use it right away. I mean, the good news is we do just have 2 Enforcers, which can hit in pretty aggressively. But obviously, we would love to draw a Thoughtcast or a Cryogen into some bouncing creatures and back and forth. Draw a bunch here. There's a Gatekeeper. Pass the turn. I guess Refurb's okay. Makes him discard a Stinkweed Imp, which is not the best thing ever. We are just going to attack. I think our best way to win is just hit them with the Enforcers a couple times. They're going to just double chump the Enforcers. Okay, not the worst for us. Play the Refurb, make him discard a card. Probably a Stinkweed Imp, but like I said, they already have one in the yard, so it doesn't matter too much. No, it's a Scrapwork Mutt this time. Bring back a Stinkweed Imp. They get a Dread Return. 8 creatures in the grave right now for a giant. Unearth the Mutt. I maybe should have killed the Gatekeeper in response here, just because we would have taken less damage. If they go to unearth the other Mutt, I probably will. They can still Dread Return, and we're going to be taking a lot of damage, but can't do much about it. Still only 8 creatures in the yard, luckily. Oh, they're right away going to go for a Dread Return on the giant. Okay. That hits for 9, which is half our life total. If they have a way to get another giant, they could kill us, which I guess Gatekeeper is 1 mana to bring back. So they would need another Gatekeeper, which they don't currently have in the grave. And also, I do have a cast down to stop it. Okay, they're just going to pass. I guess because Giant's also just a good blocker is their thought. Fair enough. They have Snackers in the yard. So next turn, they can definitely go for another. They already have a Lotleth Giant. Oh, they don't have another Dread Return in the yard, though. So I really need Thraben Charm. Duress is not it. I mean, we already know one of the cards in their hand. Actually, I'm pretty sure both the cards in their hand are Stinkweed Imps. Yes, they are. So Duress doesn't do anything. So if I cast down Giant, then they can unearth Gatekeeper, flashback Looting. If they can hit a Dread Return, we die. But it's also my only way to hit for 10 here. And they have to find the Dread Return. I mean, we've drawn pretty poorly. I think we go for the cast down here. If they don't get what they need, this presents lethal to them next turn. I guess it also opens us up to like Gatekeeper, Scrapwork Mutt, pings for 1, they hit for 4. So we're at 4, and then they just need 4 more damage. I don't know. We could definitely die here, and we probably will. There's the Gatekeeper coming back. I guess they could just go for a Faithless Looting, which would allow the Snackers to come back, ping for 2, and maybe find their Dread Return. But I guess Scrapwork Mutt just looks for the Dread Return faster with the Stinkweed Imp, but they also need to hit another Gatekeeper, I think. But anyway, they're discarding. They find Dread Return and Gatekeeper. All right, well, we're going to die then. They get to unearth the Gatekeeper, pings for some, and then they also can just attack for 6, but then they get to Dread Return a giant, and we're going to die. We saw only the Bajuka Bog for Graveyard Hate this game. unfortunately. By attacking here, they can hit me for 6. This does open them up. Like, they could have... I guess if I had an instant speed way to interact, I already would have used it, so it didn't really matter. Because I was thinking, oh, I could Suffocating Fumes here and stop them from Dread returning, but I would have done that in response to the triggers, so they might as well get in for the damage in case I have just, like, life gain or something. Which we don't. Dread return's definitely going to kill us. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my current monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my Metafy link down below. It's the best way to make sure I continue putting out daily videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JDNPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pi, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.